Hi yogis, welcome back to Journey Well Yoga, or welcome to you if this is your first time. We are outside again, so hopefully you can hear some birds singing. You may hear some traffic drive by on the road behind us, but hopefully you find this as a restorative session where we can be together in community. We'll start today in a seated posture, but then we'll spend a lot of time just doing some ab work on our backs here and ending some stretches. So as we come into our practice today, finding a spot that's comfortable, whether that be right over left or left over right. We begin to sink into the breath, really drawing our mind into the present moment. Gently closing our eyes or lowering our gaze. Begin to notice the gentle inhales and likewise the gentle exhales. We use our breath in our yoga practice to help us move through our flows, so providing that strength and power, but we also use it to ground us. So we take this grounding beginning and we carry it with us throughout our practice. We do a gentle scan of the body from head to toe, expressing gratitude, but also noticing if there are any areas that we want to pay special attention to in our practice today. And then if you'd like, we can set an intention for each of our individual practices. Either something that's laid on your heart or your mind that you'd like to use to keep you grounded in the present moment. It's very typical that our mind will wander off the mat, and we use that intention to bring gently the mind back to the moment. Focusing on breath and body. Reminding ourselves that there's nowhere else we need to be right now. We've made this choice to honor our body and our minds in movement and in presence. If we chose to close our eyes, we open them. And as we inhale, the arms come up. As we exhale, we bring them to heart center. We're going to start in tabletop today. And you'll notice my mat is turned long-wise. So hopefully you'll be able to see me as we move into our supine postures. But as we find our positions today, we want wrists and shoulders in line, knees and hips. We begin to move the spine with our breath, inhaling, lifting the gaze, lowering the tail. And exhaling, rounding the back and the shoulders. Very gently moving the spine. Moving the body, using this as a check-in. Noticing where our weight is positioned. If it's over our hands and knees the same. Maybe our weight is shifted back or to one side. Making any adjustments that are necessary. And one more breath, and we'll all meet back in tabletop. Good, and coming back to our tabletop position, we'll tuck the toes, and we'll lift and hover up off the mat to begin to further engage those abdominal muscles. We'll exhale, lower. As we inhale, we'll lift left leg, right arm, reaching from front to back. Maybe pointing those toes down to the ground to further engage the glute. We're highly active here, maintaining as much of a flat back here as we're able. Exhaling, we lower. Tucking those toes, we lift and hover again. And exhaling, we lower. Inhaling, left arm, right leg reaching. Again, maybe pointing those toes down to the mat to further engage glute and hamstring. Exhaling, we lower. This time when we lift and hover, if we want a fingertip engagement, we can come up onto those fingers, tuck the toes, and lift and hover. Lowering back down to the mat. Continuing with our opposites, lifting left leg, right arm. We can stay here or we can exhale, bringing knee to elbow, and move with our breath for a series of 5. Again, your breath and your pace might be different than mine, and that's what we honor. And after our 5, we meet in tabletop. Coming back to tabletop, we move to the other side, inhaling, lifting left arm, right leg. And as we exhale, we reach together, knee and elbow. Inhaling, extending. Exhaling, reach. For a series of 5, so 3 more. All meet back in tabletop. Coming from our tabletop position, we bring those knees to the side. We come into seated. From our seated position, we engage in boat pose. So finding a nice tall posture here. Shoulder blades are rounded down and in. We're in a nice long spine. And then feet are about shoulder width apart here, maybe a bit more narrow. We can use our block here if it suits us. And then we shift back on the pelvis, so highly engaged, shoulder blades pulled down and in, postures engaged. We can stay here if we feel this engagement, or we can remove the block and do a leg raise, so holding that leg strong, switching with our breath. Or we can come into a double leg lift, choosing the lever for our knees. What we want to be mindful of is we don't dump into the back, that we stay nice and tall. And then we release the right leg, we release the left leg, and we all rise back to the top. Maybe rolling down and in and around, fully relaxing for a moment. And when we're ready, we once again choose our posture. So we sit nice and tall first. We shift back. A different option is if we want to go side to side, so we can engage in some rotation here. Now again, choosing our posture, so we can choose whatever leg position. And then if we're moving side to side, we always exhale as we come to center. Legs stay neutral, only rotating on the spine. The beautiful sunrise behind us. We do one more to each side if we're doing our rotations. We release the feet and we come up to the top. Again, maybe rounding the back if that's in our practice. And then we're going to come down onto our backs and spend most of our time here doing our abdominal work. So I like to slowly eccentrically roll, so we're going to tuck the tail and begin to lower as if we're going one vertebra at a time, slowly onto the mat. And as we come to our supine posture, we find what suits us best. Maybe adjusting that back, lifting the tail. And then we place our feet so that they're underneath our ankles are underneath our knees, feet are firmly planted. Engaging here with a gentle touch of the back on the mat. We power through the feet, lifting up into bridge pose. Maybe rolling those shoulders down and in, squeezing the glutes. Breathing into the posture. We can stay here in our traditional bridge, or we can straighten the left leg. As we straighten the left leg, we think about both hips staying level, so not allowing that hip to drop. So highly active glute on our left, just as it is on our right. We exhale, lower. And we inhale, lift the right. And we exhale, lower. We release the hands and we tuck the tail again, slowly rolling down to the mat. Good. Maybe allowing those knees to rock side to side. And we'll one more time engage in our bridge pose here. Placing our hands next to us, maybe on our ASIS. We power through those feet, lifting up. I didn't offer this last time, but we can also use that block in between if we want to get a little bit more adductor action. Again, lifting up the hips. We can stay here. We can lift that left leg. And then we can switch to the right leg. Breath is nice and steady here, so we're engaging in our postures. And then we lower the right leg. We release the hands and slowly roll down to the mat. Good. Removing the block. Maybe knees side to side here. We then once again come to neutral. So we find that gentle engagement, back gently resting on the mat. And on our next inhale, we lift the right knee, so hip is to 90, knee is to 90. And we exhale, bringing the left to meet it. So you should have a nice flat shin, nice even front here. Arms can be at the side or on ASIS. As we inhale, we lower the right heel. As we exhale, we return to center. We continue through that motion, nice and connected. Abdominal muscles here, always using our breath. Being sure too that our chest and shoulders are nice and relaxed. All of that work is isolated to that core, lower core in our legs. And we do one more on each side, evening ourselves out. And we meet knees to chest. We can hold on to the hamstrings here, maybe give ourselves a nice big hug. Gently rocking side to side. And we return those knees back to 90-90. Very gentle engagement here. And then we hold the left knee static and we take the right leg out to hover that foot a couple of inches up off the mat. We have the option of bringing that leg back, or we can take the left leg to meet it in a double leg raise. And then we exhale, bring the right leg back. So we're kind of just stepping up here, our last abdominal exercise. If we experience any discomfort in our back, then go ahead and bring those legs back to meet as opposed to that double leg raise. And you can always rest knees to chest. Again, really trusting that breath here. And we'll do one more on each side. And we'll meet back both knees to chest. Good. Again, making that connection with our breath and revisiting our intention for our practice. Being sure we're filling ourselves up with hope and strength and community with one another. We again bring those knees back to 90-90. This time we take our arms out to the side like we're giving a nice big hug. Our abdominal engagement remains the same. And we're going to move in an arc of which we're able to use those obliques. So we're slowly inhaling, lowering to the right. And as we exhale, we pull back to center. And then we inhale, lower to the left. And we exhale back to center. We have a couple of further options here. We can begin to straighten those knees. And we can also move the arms. Moving the arms is also a good test of whether or not we're using our arms to help us move those legs. So if we notice, if we draw them closer to us, it becomes more challenging. And additionally, if we change that lever at the knee. So we find our arc, we find our knee and arm levers. We settle in for a few more breaths. We do one more to each side or even ourselves out, and we'll all meet knees to chest. And maybe repositioning ourselves on our mat. If we rotated ourselves right off the mat. Nice gentle breath. We begin some stretches here with our practice. So we'll take our feet and bring them down to the mat. And we'll take the left leg and cross it over the right leg. We can stay here if we feel that hip opening already, or we can take the left hand through the center, right hand behind, and come in to thread the needle. You can keep that the right leg bent, or we can straighten it. And we allow the shoulders and the head and neck to relax. Maybe closing our eyes here, focusing on our intention. Or maybe the focus is purely the breath. Enjoy these deep, yet gentle inhales and exhales. And if we chose to straighten that right knee, we bend it. We lower the right foot to the mat. We uncross that left leg and then we cross the right leg over. Notice our sun is rising up behind us, enjoying the beauty of the morning. We can stay here with the right leg crossed, or we can thread the needle, drawing that left knee toward us. Again, straightening the left leg if that suits us. And then we bend that left knee if we chose to straighten it. We release it back to the mat. We bring the right knee to chest and we straighten the left leg. You can do some circles with the ankle going clockwise and counterclockwise. And then we take the right arm out and we use the left hand to gently guide that right leg over the left leg. We can turn our gaze toward that right hand if it suits us. What we're looking for here is keeping both shoulders connected. So we're only taking that right leg as far as we're able to keep the right shoulder connected to the mat. And then we exhale that right leg back, right arm comes in. And we reposition and we bring the left knee to chest. Again, maybe doing circles clockwise and counterclockwise. And when you're ready, taking that left arm to the left side, left leg crosses the right leg. Gaze can turn toward the left hand. You can also straighten the knee. I didn't provide that as an option, but that will change where we're feeling that stretch. And then we bring that left leg back, left arm back. We come into our final posture of the day, which is happy baby. So we bring those knees to chest and then we take the hands to the inside, but then reach to the outside of the foot. We bring the knees to the shoulders, maybe gently rocking side to side. You can also extend the knees if that's in our practice. Once again, shoulders and neck are relaxed. Arms are assisting, but not holding any stress or tension. And then we bring those feet back together. We release the feet to the mat. And we come into our final relaxation pose, or Savasana. We allow the feet to drift to the side, arms resting next to us, palms facing up and open. And we take our Savasana with stillness of mind, stillness of body. Pure attention and awareness of the breath and beauty of the body. we come to the end of our practice today, I encourage you to set an intention for the time ahead, whether you're doing this in the morning as I am, or maybe in the evening, setting your intention for bed and into tomorrow. What is it that your soul and mind are asking you to focus on, to honor? When you're ready, beginning to wiggle toes and fingertips, reawakening the body. Bringing the knees into a bent position, and then eventually into chest. Gently rocking side to side, and then eventually forward and back. We'll all meet in a seated position, hands coming to heart center. We'll be closing our eyes once again or lowering the gaze. We bring the thumbs to the forehead. We remember to have faithful and hopeful thoughts. We bring the thumbs to the lips. We remember to share words of forgiveness and grace with ourselves and with those around us. We bring our thumbs to heart center. And we remember to share love, again with ourselves, but also with the world around us. Namaste.